Imagine this: 500 kilograms of pure gold, worth over $25 million, vanishes in one of the boldest heists in recent history. Within weeks, the man behind it, a ruthless criminal mastermind, is locked behind bars. The authorities breathe a sigh of relief, convinced that justice has been served. But they were wrong. Dead wrong. Because just months later, that same dangerous prisoner vanished from one of the most secure prisons in the country, without a trace. No alarms, no witnesses, no clear trail. One moment he was inside a concrete fortress, the next he was gone, like a ghost. And the gold, still missing. This isn't a movie. This actually happened. You're about to hear the unbelievable, spine-chilling true story of a man who stole more gold than most people will see in a lifetime, and then disappeared into the shadows, leaving behind a trail of silence, suspicion, and unanswered questions. How did he pull off the heist? How did he escape from a maximum security prison? Did he have help from the inside? And most importantly, where is he now? Some say he's hiding in a foreign country under a new identity. Others believe he never left and is living among us, protected by a network of criminals. And there are even rumors that the gold was never meant to be stolen. It was a message. This case has baffled law enforcement, shocked the public, and inspired endless theories. But today, we're breaking it all down. From the chilling precision of the robbery, to the shocking twists of his prison escape, to the global manhunt that followed. Every minute of this story will leave you wondering, was this a one-man operation, or the work of a highly organized criminal syndicate? You're about to see real facts, real footage, and real consequences. This isn't fiction. This isn't fantasy. This is the real-life story of a man who defied the law, outsmarted the system, and vanished, along with half a ton of gold. So grab your seat, turn up the volume, and don't blink, because what you're about to hear is not just a story. It's a warning. The perfect crime might just be possible. And sometimes, the most dangerous criminals aren't the ones you see on the news. They're the ones you never see coming. To understand how one man could steal 500 kilograms of gold, you need to understand how perfectly it was planned. This wasn't a crime of impulse. It was a crime of calculation, discipline, and precision. It started 6 months before the heist even took place. The target? A private gold vault located in the industrial outskirts of a major city, discreet, heavily secured, and known only to high-level dealers, wealthy clients, and certain government contacts. The facility held unregistered gold, private holdings kept away from public records, and that's exactly why it was chosen. The man behind the operation, let's call him RK for now, had spent years in organized crime. But this time, he didn't want just money. He wanted power, and power, in his world, came in the form of gold. Step 1. Infiltration. RK knew he couldn't just break in. So he planted someone inside months in advance. A security contractor, trained and clean on paper, who slowly earned the trust of the vault's management. No one suspected a thing. Step 2. Surveillance. Using a combination of inside access and drone surveillance, they mapped every inch of the facility. Door timings, guard shifts, blind spots in the camera system, backup power layout, and even biometric access points. Step 3. Timing the strike. The day of the heist wasn't random. It was during a national holiday weekend when the vault operated on a skeleton staff and police presence across the city was reduced. They chose a 3-hour window between midnight and 3 a.m. when the vault system went into manual override for maintenance checks. Step 4. Execution. 3 unmarked black vans pulled up to the rear service gate, one carrying tools, one with the crew, and one left empty for the gold. The inside man had already disabled the silent alarms. They used a plasma cutter to silently open the reinforced side entry. No gunfire, no violence, just speed and silence. The team was only 4 men, but every man had a role. One for tech disruption, one for lock mechanisms, one for carrying and packing. And RK himself, overseeing and directing every step. They went directly to the vault, not the main one, but a secondary holding chamber where a shipment had just arrived the day before. No one expected it to be touched. No one expected the system to fail, but it did. They loaded 500 kilograms of gold bars into reinforced crates, coated to avoid metal detectors, and were out of the building in 27 minutes. 27 minutes. By the time police were alerted, the vans had been switched, license plates removed, and the men had scattered across 3 different states. No fingerprints, no witnesses, no trace. The only clue left behind was a single torn patch of cloth, black, with a golden serpent embroidered in the center. A signature, perhaps, or a warning. Within 48 hours, Interpol was notified, but the gold was already gone, melted, divided, moved through secret smuggling routes. It had vanished into the black market. And as for RK, he was caught weeks later, not because of the heist itself, but due to a traffic violation under a fake name, a simple mistake, the kind of mistake a man like him wasn't supposed to make. But if you think that was the end of the story, think again. Because what happened next, inside prison, was even more shocking than the heist itself. For nearly a month, RK became a ghost. After orchestrating one of the largest gold heists in modern history, he disappeared without a single confirmed sighting. Interpol flagged his identity across borders. His known associates were picked up and interrogated. Airports, seaports, and highways were on high alert, but he was always one step ahead, until he made a mistake. It happened late one night, nearly 5 weeks after the heist, in a small town just outside the city. A police patrol stopped a black SUV for a routine traffic check. The driver had no license, no registration, and no ID, just a fake name and a cool, confident smile. The officers were about to let him go, but one of them noticed something strange: his hands. Not the hands of a working-class man, no calluses, no scars, clean, precise, like someone used to wearing gloves and pulling strings. They decided to bring him in for questioning. At first he said nothing, but once his fingerprints were scanned, everything changed. Name: Raza Khan, aka RK. Age: 41. Criminal record: long affiliations, suspected links to international smuggling networks, high-level robbery crews, and black market gold dealers. Within hours, national security agencies were notified. Within 12 hours, he was transferred to a maximum security detention center. Within 48 hours, the media had his face on every screen across the country. The public reaction? Shock, fascination, and fear. How could one man, without military training, without political power, pull off a gold heist worth millions, and then blend into society like a shadow? Investigators believed RK had access to fake passports, multiple hideouts, and safe routes across borders. But instead of running far, he stayed nearby, hidden in plain sight. Why? No one knows. Maybe he was planning the next move. Maybe he got cocky. Maybe he wanted to get caught. But the evidence was clear. Surveillance footage matched his build and movements. The inside man at the vault confessed under interrogation and named him as the mastermind. Forensic traces from the heist scene linked to materials found in his safe house. And most importantly, a melted gold bar matching the vault's batch ID was recovered from one of his suspected storage units. The trial was swift. In a high-security courtroom, RK stood silent as the charges were read. Grand theft of precious metals, conspiracy to commit organized crime, destruction of state-monitored evidence, forgery and identity fraud, possession of unregistered arms, discovered later. The prosecution called him a genius of the underworld, and the judge agreed. The sentence: 25 years in maximum security prison, no parole, no appeal. A cell monitored 24/7, no internet access, strict isolation protocols. But here's where things get strange. Despite all the evidence, RK never confessed, not once. He sat quietly through every session, never denying, but never confirming anything. He refused interviews, refused visitors, as if he knew something the rest of the world didn't. And maybe he did, because less than a year into his sentence, the impossible happened again. RK, the man the system finally caught, vanished. Not during a riot, not during a transfer, but during broad daylight, inside one of the most secure prisons in the country. And this time, it wasn't just gold that went missing. It was the truth. A prison built like a fortress. Cameras on every corner. Steel doors that don't open without 2 guards and a passcode. 24-hour surveillance. And yet, one of the most dangerous criminals vanished without setting off a single alarm. How the answer is both terrifying and brilliant. Let's go back 6 months before the escape. From the moment RK stepped into that prison, he was watching. Not panicking, not plotting revenge. Watching, observing, learning the system from the inside out. He studied the guards who came late, who left early, who was strict and who liked to talk. He paid attention to routines, mealtimes, maintenance hours, shift changes. He even noted which cameras had minor blind spots during certain hours. To the prison staff, RK was quiet, polite, no trouble, but beneath that calm mask, he was engineering something meticulous. The tools. Nothing fancy. No explosives. No Hollywood gadgets. Just simple, everyday objects gathered over time, smuggled in slowly through clever means. Dental floss reinforced with plastic to slice through thin materials. Battery acid hidden in a soap bottle to weaken the hinges. A makeshift key mold, crafted from bread and toothpaste, used to replicate a maintenance key, and most importantly, a hacked radio transmitter built using old prison electronics that jammed one section of the security feed for exactly 6 minutes. But the tools alone weren't enough. He needed help inside help. It turns out RK had been making friends, very carefully. One guard was deep in debt, another had a sick child, and RK had access to quiet money, gold that had never been recovered. He made offers, quiet ones, offers they couldn't refuse 2 guards. That's all it took, one to alter the logs, another to delay the cell check, just by a few minutes, the timing, a rainy Thursday evening. During a minor fire drill, chaos but controlled. At 7:43 p.m., RK was seen on camera in his cell. At 7:50 p.m., the fire drill began. At 7:56 p.m., a 6-minute camera blackout occurred in the northwest corridor due to electrical interference. At 8:01 p.m., the camera came back on RK was gone, not just missing from his cell, gone from the prison entirely. No alarms had triggered, no doors were forced open. It was as if he had vanished into thin air. But here's the most chilling part. The tunnel weeks later, investigators discovered a narrow, expertly dug tunnel underneath the old laundry wing. It led 70 meters underground and exited in a nearby storm drain beyond the prison fence. It wasn't dug overnight. It took months, quiet digging, clever concealment, and nightly disposal of dirt during garbage shifts. The tunnel had been reinforced with wooden boards taken from old storage shelves. This wasn't a spontaneous breakout. This was a second masterpiece. By the time authorities realized what had happened, RK was already gone. Again. No fingerprints, no trail. Even the guards who helped him had disappeared, vanished the same night, their homes empty, their accounts wiped. Only one thing was found in the tunnel, a single gold coin left on the ground. A message, or just a final insult? Either way, it was clear RK was back in the wind, and with the gold never fully recovered. The real question isn't just where. After the escape, everything changed. The prison went into full lockdown. News agencies around the world exploded with headlines. Gold heist mastermind escapes maximum security prison. Interpol expands manhunt across 7 countries. 500 kilos of gold still missing. But despite the panic, the outrage, and the massive international manhunt, there was nothing. No sightings, no digital trace, no fingerprints. It was as if RK had vanished from the face of the earth. Interpol issued a red notice. Border forces across Europe, Asia, and the Middle East were put on alert. High-level alerts were placed at airports, ports, and embassies. Every known associate was tracked down. Every transaction over $10,000 flagged for gold laundering. Dozens were arrested. But RK, still missing. There are theories. So many theories. Some say he escaped to South America, a continent known for its lawless pockets and gold smuggling routes. Others believe he's hiding in Central Asia, protected by an underground network built over years. There's even a theory that he never left the country. He simply changed his face and identity, living somewhere quietly, maybe even watching the media as they search for him. But none of it can be proven. And the gold? Out of 500 kilograms, only 41 kilograms have ever been recovered, mostly in the form of melted bars found during sting operations. That means nearly 460 kilograms of gold is still missing. That's over $23 million worth of wealth, floating through the black market, untraceable. Some investigators believe the gold has been hidden, not sold, stored in underground vaults, buried, kept as leverage for something much bigger. And if that's true, RK isn't just on the run, he's waiting. There are also whispers. Unconfirmed sightings in Dubai, Istanbul, and Karachi. A man matching his description seen boarding a private jet in Malaysia. A luxury villa purchased in cash in North Africa under a fake identity. But every lead ends the same way. Cold. The inside guards who helped him? Gone. One was later found dead in a river. The other? Still missing. Even the families of those involved are silent, either out of fear or loyalty. And perhaps the most chilling part? There are signs that the story isn't over. 2 years after the heist, a nearly identical break-in occurred at a diamond vault in Johannesburg. The methods? Almost identical. Precision timing, insider assistance, and a complete lack of violence. No suspects, no evidence, and again, no loot recovered. Some believe RK is still active, that he's not just hiding, he's evolving, that the gold he stole wasn't the end, it was just his beginning. Others think he's dead, killed by his own partners, or silenced by a rival group who wanted the gold for themselves. But the truth? No one knows. And maybe that's what makes this story so powerful, because in a world of surveillance, data, and constant tracking, one man beat the system, twice, and he did it not with violence, but with patience, intelligence, and a terrifying level of control. So where is RK now? Living in paradise? Planning the next job? Or buried in the shadows with his secrets? We may never know. But one thing is certain, the gold is still out there, and the legend of RK, it's just getting started. So, let's recap. A man known only as RK pulled off one of the most daring heists in recent history, stealing 500 kilograms of gold from a high-security private vault. Not with guns or explosions, but with planning, precision, and perfect timing. He disappeared for weeks. Then, through nothing more than a routine traffic stop, was finally arrested. The evidence was stacked against him. The sentence? 25 years in maximum security. Case closed, right? Wrong. Because less than a year later, the unthinkable happened. He escaped, not during a riot, not during a transfer, but in broad daylight, using homemade tools, inside help, and a tunnel so well crafted, it shocked authorities around the world. And then, he vanished. Again. Despite massive efforts by police, Interpol, and international intelligence agencies, RK remains missing. And the gold? Nearly 460 kilograms is still unaccounted for. That's millions of dollars, possibly hidden away, waiting to be used again. No fingerprints, no traces, only whispers, theories, and one undeniable fact. He beat the system twice. Was it a symbol of rebellion, a quest for power, or something even more personal? We may never know. But what we do know is that this isn't just a story about crime. It's a story about obsession, strategy, and the terrifying possibility that a man this dangerous might still be out there, still watching, still planning, and still winning. So now we ask you, what do you think really happened to RK? Is he alive? Is he in hiding? Or is this all part of something much bigger? Let us know in the comments below. We want to hear your theory. If you found this story fascinating, hit that like button. It helps more people discover unbelievable true stories like this one. And if you love real crime mysteries, incredible escapes, and stories that seem too wild to be true, subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell icon so you never miss the next twist in the story. We've got more real cases, more mind-blowing escapes, and more stories that will make you say, "This can't be real," but it is. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay curious, stay sharp, and remember, sometimes the most dangerous criminals don't hide in the dark. They hide in plain sight.